Okay. Let's go. Let's go. How are we doing on this fine Sunday morning? 35 degrees, raining, not even snow. And in fact, later it's supposed to be 31 degrees and still raining. If you don't think that's possible, you haven't lived in a northern climate. It can be, I've seen it snow at 40 degrees and I've seen it rain at 30 degrees. So, how did we do last night in the NHL with our scores? Let's load this up. And then I've got an interesting quote from Maurice here yesterday. The Wild beat the Sabres in overtime, so we catch up a point. The Rangers beat the Flyers, so that helps a little. The Flames beat the Islanders. That could possibly help at some point. The Mammoth beat the Kraken. The Canadians beat the Sens in overtime. So yeah. The Blue Jackets beat the Penguins in the shootout. So that helps by a point. We beat the Capitals. The Hurricanes beat the Devils. So that's not bad. The Maple Leafs beat the Jets in overtime 4-3. And then the Bruins beat the Blackhawks 5-2. The Knights beat the Preds 7-2. And the Canucks got shut out by the Oilers 6-0. Ducks 2, Kings 1, which puts us not worse, not significantly better, but not worse. So we are now 5 points out of the 7 seed from the Bruins, but we do have 2 games in hand, and we are 4 points out of the 8 seed with no games in hand against the Sabres. And then ahead of us after that are still the Leafs. We're 3 points behind them with a game in hand. And then the Caps are at 54 points. So it's not complete doomsday. Let's see. There's 2 spots. The Bruins and Sabres are in the spots. Other than those teams, the Leafs, Penguins, and Capitals are ahead of us. So we only need to leapfrog. You know what I'm saying. We're not behind that many teams. It's early. I just had a nap. Here's my coffee. How we doing? So, JC, good morning. Bex, how we doing? David, good to see you. Yeah, real nice bounce back after a blowout, but can we stop needing bounce backs, please? I guess there is one thing to say about that, though, and that if we continue to win games after a loss, that's not the worst thing in the world when it comes around time for the playoffs. Let's put it this way. If you start every series with a win, let's follow me here. If you start every series with a win and you win after every loss, you win the cup. All you got to do is go win, lose, win, lose. Let's see, win, we lose, win, we lose, win, we lose, win. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's just go win, lose, win, lose, win, lose, but start each series with a win. That's all. Easy done. No problem. Yeah, exactly, Lax. They got a point, but we got 2. So, I have a quote here about Chucky real quick. David says it's 82 right now. Going to get down to 40s before this morning. We're supposed to have like a blizzard next Saturday, Sunday, Monday. It starts snowing Saturday morning and doesn't stop snowing until like Monday at 7 o'clock at night. The high temperature in the 3 days is 27. The low is 14. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So we'll see what the weather does. Now, there was this NHL status report. I saw part of this quote yesterday, but I didn't see the whole thing. So here it is. This is Maurice when he's talking about Kachuk yesterday before the game. He's close. He's getting pushed hard on the ice. He's coming back. The recovery has been good. He hasn't felt at 100%, but the last 2 days he pushed hard, came back, and felt good. So I don't think he's very far away now. So that's the first time we've heard anything there. He hasn't felt at 100%. Okay. All right. We don't want him out there less than 100%. So I hope he gets to a place where he's 100% instead of it getting, well, he's at 95 and he ain't getting any better. And they just have to put him in at some point. JC says, you all seen snow 90 degrees in the doors. What? You all seen it snow and 90 degrees indoors in the 1980s. In Miami. Yeah. I was in kindergarten. And they brought us outside and it was flurries in my hand. I remember that. Beck says, was watching a video of Oilers Islanders, I think, was a replay of a goal getting called a no goal, and people were wondering how it didn't go in. Someone said because Florida controls the puck. Jesus. It just goes to prove to you it's not just in the subject of politics where some people get broken. Yeah, the sugar snow in Miami. Exactly, David. Exactly. Oh, you're talking about booger sugar. I see, JC. Grab says, at least we scored first. I'm tired of this team constantly playing from behind. And they did good when they, it looked for a second there like, oh, here we go again. Right? 1 goal, 2 goals, all of a sudden it's 2-1. And you start thinking, man, but they actually pulled it out and fought and made sure they won the game. Hey, Burned Oils. Say good morning. So yeah, that's what the hockey gods and doctors wanted last night. Hongi says, was watching the doc this morning and realized something. The Panthers inherited their 80s Kane legacy. They're skilled, they're killers, and they're hated just like the 80s Canes for the same reasons. It's a pretty good point. Yeah. Boy, did they hate us. Boy. LJ says you have to make it to the playoffs first. That's true. That's true. Hey, Patel, how you doing, bud? When's Kachuk and Marchand coming back? Maurice says soon. He says they won't be out much longer. I don't know what that means in Maurice speak. Other than that, I still got this headache. It's not as bad today as it was yesterday, but I can't take any more meds for it today. So today it's just going to have to leave me the hell alone. It's not as bad as it was yesterday. So everything's okay. I got to figure out the schedule for this upcoming week because I think we know what today and tomorrow is. Tomorrow is going to be busy. That's for sure. JC says we need win-win, lose, win-lose, win-win, lose, and win-win-win. If we can get that rhythm, we'll be fine. Win-win, lose, win-lose, win-win, lose. Yeah. Oh, sure. Sure. I don't know if that's reasonable to expect. Well, we got to get some guys back. We got to get our guys back. It's enough already. Hey, Real. Got to give it up to Uvis. He's gotten better. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Great White. I don't know. I don't think Nick is. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. He's also working too, so I'm not sure. I'll have to ask him. We didn't talk about it, so I'll have to ask him. Thank you for reminding me, Great White. Miss Krabs, yeah. I mean, look, we're not behind as many teams, right? And yeah, getting Chucky back would be a heck of a spark plug. If we could get Chucky back at the same time as Marchand, Lundell, Lusterinen, Reinhardt, Barkov, Bennett with Kachuk and Verhage, and then Rodriguez with Marchand and Samaskevich. Like, I feel pretty good about that, Rob. You should be making the playoffs with that as your top 9, because that's going to put Greer back on the bottom. So it would be Schwint, Greer, and Boquist or Cunnin. Who do you guys want on that fourth line? Boquist or Cunnin? Boquist has been kind of really invisible. David says, looking like the winner of today's game, Pats-Texans, gets an easier path to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't guarantee that, David. And the reason why I say that is because, yeah, it sucks that Nix is hurt. But we've all seen teams, especially a team that's got a great defense like the Broncos does. They can elevate that level of play, at least for the one game, because of the circumstances. They're going to rally around Stidham. And I still think the Patriots are going to win the whole thing, though. Yeah, Dave. No, tonight's game should be fun. That's the game Colin and I are doing, is Rams and the Bears. Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Krabs, at least we scored first. Lil J says if we did get that cold town here, every exotic invasive animal would be wiped. Yeah. We had a massive cold. So I think it was 2004. It's a balmy, rainy 50 on the beach. Yeesh. Catherine says, I'm hoping we get to see Tarasov start more games. Don't know what's going on with Bob. Well, I hadn't thought about this before, and then I got to it last night in the recap. Some of you might have seen it. It just I wasn't even thinking about it until I said it. But as I said it, it really made sense. And that is that I think the reason why they're not worried about burning Bobrovsky out, playing 4 and 5 games in a row, is because he's going to have those 3 weeks off during the Olympic break. So that might be why we're seeing him play more games than we would really want instead of less. Now, why Maurice is not looking at things and going, it sure looks like Tarasov is playing better than Bob, and giving Tarasov more starts, that I don't understand. I don't understand it from that perspective. But from a perspective of being worried about wearing Bob out, he's going to have 3 weeks off. So maybe the Panthers feel like it doesn't matter how much we play him in the beginning part of the season. He's going to have that time to rest and recuperate. JC, the fake asses will fall off the... David, you warming that the generic lube could cause the headaches. Oh, boy. Greg, you were a kid in Delray waiting for the school bus with the light flurries fell. Yep. Patel says, maybe my neighbor's fake ass falls off. My God, it's atrocious. I don't understand that. I don't understand it at all. Laxum, I tried turmeric for my headaches. That's really an interesting question. I've tried curcumin, which is the product in turmeric. I've done turmeric every once in a while, but the curcumin actually gives me migraines. The curcumin and the turmeric actually gives me migraines, so I can only have a little bit at a time. Go figure, man. My body's weird that way. It's interesting that you would ask that question because, yeah, it's unfortunate. I finally had to Patel, yeah, it's great for the joint pain. Yeah, but it gives me a bad the pressure migraine is what it is. Is Jones alive? Jones is somewhere sleeping, getting a massage, just resting his body. He'll be back. He'll be okay. Delray was probably nice in the 60s and 70s. Delray, when I was growing up, Delray was just like where all the old people lived, right? Craig says, guys need to come back so Reinhardt can get some rest. Boy, you're not kidding, man. He's sleepwalking out there. Doctor says, do I think Chucky is more concerned with being prepared for the Olympics rather than coming back? Well, if Maurice is saying he hasn't felt 100% yet, I don't think it matters at this point. Like, I don't think Tkachuk is making it up and saying he's less than 100%. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, if you guys missed it at the beginning earlier, I read a quote from Maurice, and he mentioned how Tkachuk hasn't felt 100% yet. So Tell says, do I want the face-off winner or Cunnin? Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I guess it would be if Schwint was in. What's the face-off percentages? Let me see here. Now, Boquist technically is supposed to be able to be a center and play center. His face-off percentage is 33.8 this year, so that's not great. Last year was 42, so that's part of the reason why. Cunnin's percentage. Good question. Let's see. So 51.6. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that's the main reason he's on the ice right now. You know what I mean? Like, that's almost best on the team. I think Lundell's at like 52%. So, and where's Schwint? I mean, he's only played a handful of games, so his percentage is going to probably be a little bit wonky, maybe. Let's see. 40.9. Now, last year when he played 42 games for Vegas, he was 50%. So, yeah, I think you're probably right there, Patel. Probably would end up with Boquist out and Cunnin staying on that line. The Bears. I'd love to see it, Krabs. I don't know about for 5 straight games, but like Patel saying, isn't Tarasov the hot hand and go with him for now and see if a winning streak could occur? I don't understand why they're not doing it. That's how they handled things with Drieger. That's how they handled things with Knight. That's how they handled things with Lyon. Any of the times that Bob was struggling, if the backup started playing well, they just let him go on a streak. But I mean, the only thing I can even think of is out of respect for Bob because he's won the 2 cups. But I mean, it's been. I mean, let's look at this, right? So, like, it's not close. It's not close. Bobrovsky is at 309 and 875. Tarasov is at 276 and 905. Now, I'm not saying it's time to make a change permanently. But what I will say is that if Bobrovsky was at 276 and a 905, we'd be in the top 3 spot. That I will say. That's for sure. Hungry. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. David says there used to be a waterfront bar restaurant in Delray that had hundreds of T-shirts all over the walls. Been a minute, but they had docs and would cook your catch for you. Huh. Yeah, there was a few places. I didn't go to them. I would pass them when I went fishing. Oh, here we go, JC. Patel says you have to use curcumin with ginger and black pepper for it to work properly. Surprisingly, I found out from a chiropractor. Yeah, I used to put that in. I used to make shakes before I met Karen. I would juice apples and carrots, and I would put a little bit of turmeric and ginger in it. Not the black pepper, though. Not the black pepper. I could try it with the gin. I mean, I could try it, but I want to clear the headache first. I only say that because I never know what my body's going to make differently. I never know what my body is going to react to in a way that it shouldn't react to. So I don't want to make this one worse. I think it has a little bit to do with the low pressure that's over us right now. It's not as bad today as it was yesterday. But yeah, I used to be a lot. I used to get up in the morning and juice my apples and carrots and put all that healthy stuff in there. That was back before when I was making good money on Amazon. So I had a little bit more time, I guess. I don't know. A lot of things change. You look back and you remember, and you're like, man, there's the way that things were before COVID and the way they were after COVID. It's like the whole COVID thing interrupted everybody's routines, and then like a lot of people like myself just never really got back into the routines that we had that were working. It's weird. Hold on a second. Holy crap! Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, bud. Much appreciated. Good morning. So what we got says, get well, Jaws, and know how you feel. I lived years with headaches. Now I just self-med with Well Jaws, the devil's stick, light it up. That's funny. You should say that, Great White. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Because during the second intermission yesterday, that's finally what I had to go do. I had gone all day. I had already had 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol. Nothing. Well, no, I wouldn't say nothing. I'd get like an hour relief and it would come back. And so I finally just took one little puff. That's all I need. Just one little puff. And it's like almost immediately I can at least feel my eyeballs. The pressure in my eyeballs goes away. And so, yeah, it's funny that you should mention that. I don't like doing it because you think I'm foggy-headed now. Like, I really prefer not to do it. But it's better for me than Tylenol and whatnot. Mike says, Colorado doesn't know anything about cold weather. Florida, on the other hand. Yeah, we've got what's the word? What's the phrase I'm looking for? Damn it. We've got the blank on cold weather. I can't think today. I think this happens every Sunday morning. I took a nap. I went in at 11 o'clock from like 11:45, and I took a nap, and the alarm woke me up, and I was like, ugh. So, thank you again, Great White. Silva says, Vesna Bob won his 2 cups, so he gets to play every game if he wants to play every game, $10 million. I hear you, Silva. I know. I see both sides of it. You know what I mean? I see both sides of it. I mean, we could play him a little bit less, like 3 games for Bob and 1 for Tarasov. Do we have to be doing 4 and 5? Like, it almost feels like they're pushing it on purpose. Philip says we need to go 21-13-1 the rest of the way to be reasonably assured of the playoffs at 96 points is usually the cutoff. Which is interesting, Philip, because a few years ago, Bugner's first year was the year we got 96 points and didn't get in. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think we were the first team that had gotten that many points and didn't get in some ridiculous amount of time. Stel says the nature-wise, curcumin has all 3. That might be the easiest way to do it for me. I like to try to find the stuff in powder form because then I can put it in with smoothies and stuff. But if it's a pill, I'll take it too. Michael says, is Bobrovsky really playing poorly, or are we giving up too many high-danger chances while keeping overall shots on goal down? Both. Well, okay, the second part to your statement, yes, for sure. Is he really playing poorly? Not in the sense of the way that Bobrovsky usually would play poorly. When Bob is off, he's off his angles. So you'll see guys beating him short side, 5-hole. This year it's been a little bit different. The glove. I probably can think of at least 4 or 5 times when it's just been a simple catch the puck with your left, with your glove, and he's just missing it. That's new. That's new a little bit. Teams are playing a little bit differently against us, and probably, some of it's on purpose and some of it is because we're missing so many guys. And so we're not getting as much action where it's like 2 and 3 and 4 shots around the net where he can show off his flexibility and his athletic ability and move all over the place. A lot of the goals are coming on shots from the point that are getting deflected that he's not really having a chance to see. The break, and then the breakaways. We're giving up more breakaways. I think both things can be true. I think we're giving up more breakaways, and he's probably stopping them at much less of a clip. Now, that said, obviously, there's been a couple of games here, like the one with the 9 goals, that are going to overinflate how bad those stats have been. I think, moreover, for me and for some of us, the idea of playing Bobrovsky less isn't so much as a punishment for him or anything as it is for me. It's like, hey, we got to do whatever we need to do to get in. Like, whoever's going to play the best wherever they're going to play. Like, if you got to put Greer on the second line so he can score goals like he's been, then that's what we got to do. And I don't feel like they've carried that attitude. We got Balinskis running the first power play, scoring goals. Again, do whatever you got to do. But I kind of feel like we've insulated Bobrovsky from that perspective. And we're just saying, all right, with everybody else, we can move you anywhere. We're going to move you down. We're going to move you up. We're going to do whatever. But with Bob, we're like, just leave Bob alone. And whatever it looks like is what it looks like. And it doesn't look good when you compare it to Tarasov and you start looking at the standings and you're thinking, like, could we have picked off another couple of games that way? Like, we're, like Maurice has said, we're fighting for our lives. I feel like he's coaching the goalie position in a completely different manner than he's coaching the rest of the team. Hey, Colin, Florida boy, how you doing, bud? Yeah, the market cornered. Thank you, Mike. Thank you for being the other brain cells. Jesus. It may or may not be related to the fact that I had to take the one hit yesterday to get rid of the headache. You would think 24 hours later or 12 hours later I'd be fine, right? Florida says, I want to see Jaws riding Mission Space. And oh, geez. Oh, my God. No. When I was a kid, and I mean like a little kid, 4, 5 years old, there was a ride at the county fair that my dad put me on. And it was like the Himalayan. It was just one of those rides that goes around in a circle. You know what I mean? And I screamed and put up such a fuss that they had to stop the ride and get me off the ride and just start it back up for everybody. Like, I don't think I've ever seen them actually stop a ride for somebody before. But that's how much I like going around and around and around. Colin says, interesting enough that John Eric names Waddle, Acham, Brewer, Brooks, and Paul as building blocks for the Dolphins. Waddle, huh? Ugh, Waddle is not a building block. Hungry says, a little bit of funny entertainment, interesting sports news. A bunch of nations are threatening to boycott the World Cup because the U.S.'s dictatorship, and the last World Cup was in Qatar and Russia. Florida says, your friend says that we should trade Samo in the first for Panarin because he says we're in win now mode. You need new friends. You need better friends. Get better friends. Get better. If the word Samuskevich and comes out of anybody's mouth, and then the next name is a player from the Rangers, get better friends. No offense to your friend, but yeah, I mean, no, and no. Tell says just take the capsule contents and put it in a smoothie. I've used curcumin like that when I had a bad sore throat and cold and mixed in hot milk, and it works good. Yeah. Well, I have 2 tubs. In fact, that's what I cook my main food is chicken thighs. And I cook it in curcumin and turmeric. I wonder if that's why I got this headache all of a sudden. Because I know sometimes the curcumin will give me a headache. It's funny because you forget, right? You forget certain things. And I'm just now talking about it in this conversation. And I'm just now wondering, because I've been having my chicken thighs this week because I'm trying to eat a little bit better than I have been. Not that I eat terrible. And I just wonder, I'll have to figure that out. I'll have to figure that. It's just now hitting me, Patel. Jeez. Sometimes you forget, right? Florida says, when you try to win cups, you don't care about your young players. Nah, jeez. Hey, Great White. Oh, we definitely need Barkov. Absolutely. We absolutely 100% need Alexander Barkov out there. This roster is the reason why we have those cups is because Bennett at 2C, Lundell at 3C. Teams can't compete with Lundell at 3C. Marlboro Man says, let Bob sit for a while. He's been awful. And we don't got Alex Lyon coming to save the day like a couple of years ago. I mean, I think Tarasov has done pretty good. JC says, some nutjob reporter says the Panthers are in for Falk. The mock trade was Erod, a second rounder, and a prospect for Falk at 50% retained. Now, oh my gosh. First of all, what's the retention? I mean, what's his original contract? Hold on a second. I like how they know what I'm going to ask here. He's got a 6.5 cap hit, and it has term. He's got term going into next season. His cap hit, even at 50%, would be 3.2. Now, for those of you, you know exactly what I'm going to say, right, JC? We already can't afford to have Rodriguez on the ice in the playoffs if Barkov is back because he makes $3 million. So how in the hell are we going to fit Falk on the ice at 3.2? Like says, I'm sure you tried CBD, Charlotte's Web, and MedTerra, good companies. Other thing could be low on electrolytes and magnesium. Try magnesium glycinate, 300 to 400. But I took my niacin today, so that helped a little bit. It's not just the Lyme. I have a genetic heart condition called Lp(a), and it causes me to not only store too much iron, but to get too much cholesterol in my blood. So unfortunately, for this one genetic condition, the thing I'm supposed to take is large doses of niacin, which I have been taking over the years. Problem is that if you take more niacin than you really need, you end up storing more iron. So you end up in this vicious cycle. So yeah, my minerals get all funkied up. That's for sure. It's been a constant battle for years because what my body needs at any given time, it varies and everything like that. And if you don't have insurance and you can't just go get your blood tested every month, you end up guessing. Yeah, exactly, JC. They get paid to make shit up. Yeah. Oh, Barkov, it was at the Heat game. Hey, Braves fan. And the Heat spelled Barkov's name wrong. Mike, even if they retained half of it, Mike, Panarin's salary. You're talking about Panarin. But even then, I mean, Panarin is making 11.6. So even at half price, that's what, 5.8. Like, I don't know. People just come up with ideas so they don't look at the numbers. Michael says, Maurice said the goalie coach makes the goalie schedule at the beginning of the year. Now that we know Tarasov deserves more playing time, maybe they'll adjust it somewhat. That's interesting. I appreciate that, Michael. I did not know that. I had not heard that. Floridian boy says, I have a sample for Bedard. Yeah. I will concede Samoskevich for Bedard. They got to throw in a one though. I see that, Colin. He did an interview finally. He's been quiet, yeah. David, I love the chicken thighs. They're more expensive than chicken breasts, though, now. That's the thing. The chicken breast is $3.99 a pound. The thighs are $4.99 a pound. It's ridiculous. Byrne says, yeah, it varies from person to person what would trigger the headaches and migraines. When I was younger, sometimes cashew nuts would trigger your headaches. It used to be milk. When I was a kid, milk would trigger my headaches. Now I can have all the yogurt I want, no problem. He had the audacity to use Knight for Jones trade. Oh, geez, that's a whole different story. That's a different story. Knight was never going to get a chance here. Dave says, you need to get a Weber grill, coat chicken thighs, and Abido leave overnight in the fridge. Arrange the thighs around the outside of the grill, leaving a space in the middle, cover and cook 45 minutes, then add some hot sauce, I guess is the next thing you're going to say. Hot Italian sausages in this space. Jesus. I want to get rid of my migraines, David, not get them. The salt in the sausages would probably be the end of me. But it sounds good. Tell says, for myself, I get headaches from either poor sleep or very strong smells. Oh, yeah. Yeah, perfume, stuff like that. That'll do it to me too. It won't be a lasting one though. But yeah, it'll ding me for an hour for sure. Lil J says, yeah, it's the matchups. Vilmanis, Rodriguez, and Mackey can't hold up against playoff teams' third lines. Yeah, no, that can't happen. I mean, I like our young players, but yeah. Florida says if we trade for Panarin, it's going to be like Giroux all over again. Yeah, I'm just not interested. Look, and also we looked at this yesterday, or maybe I looked at it yesterday because somebody was talking about it. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. His numbers this year, he's always been a really good plus minus guy. You know, plus 20, plus 36, plus 14, plus 21, plus 4, plus 18. Then last year was minus 9. Right now he's minus 15. And, you know, he's 34. I don't know. I just can't imagine. I mean, God help us if they sent Samoskevich to the. Hey, Silva, Samoskevich and Rodriguez traded to the Rangers in exchange for a second and Panarin. Blech. Blech. No. Bad, Silva. Bad. Mike says the problem that lost Carolina, the meltdown that we had, that's not how a championship team acts. And there's something wrong with the team's outlook on who they are and what they're capable of. I don't disagree, but let's also keep in mind most of the leadership is off the ice at this point, right? Barkov and Tkachuk, I think we can kind of see Barkov and Tkachuk really keep this team pointed in the right direction. You know what I mean? Hold on, I see. Hold on a second. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Thank you, Great White. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, man. Maurice said they won't be out very much longer. The quote about Marchand was, I would say he is fairly close to. When he talked about Tkachuk, and then when they asked him about Marchand, he said that I would say he is fairly close to. Neither one of those guys should be out much longer. So that's Maurice speak for who knows, right? Oh, Lex, you have the LP little A and you take the niacin and deal with, yeah. Yep, I get all purple and blue, and then you get cold. Oh, yeah. Lax, you know what I've learned? You know how I deal when it get cold? I just get the hair dryer. I just go in the bathroom with the hair dryer and I just put it in my shirt. And I say I'm gonna go D-niacin because man, you start freezing, man. Lil J says if Barkov can come back, no trades. He's out for the playoffs. We find someone at the deadline for a boost. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. How about we stream Magna Lynette in the Australian Open? How's she doing, by the way? Word is he only wanted to move to Florida. You talking about Panarin? I don't. The only way, first of all, I don't want to move Samoskevich. Jesus. But the only way Panarin would even fit is if we knew Barkov wasn't coming back. Right? And then that still puts you, like, if Barkov's not coming back, we need a center. We need a center. We're going to go with Rodriguez at 3C. I would be very personally disappointed if we made that move. We'll put it that way. Because this team without Barkov, but adding Panarin, we're not, you know what I mean? If we're missing Barkov, we're either winning a cup or not. Many use aspirin to counteract the flushing. I think the flushing is what we're supposed to have, though. At least that's the way my doctor explained it to me. He said specifically that I can't get the non-flush kind. That's what he said anyway. Floridian says, so we got to trade like Erod, E2, and Samo for, yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, Mike. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell because we were talking about a couple different players. Hey, I see. So it's Rosado. I see. Okay. Patel says the hockey guy still has Panthers at 16 in the rankings. Still believes the Panthers will be in the playoffs. He saw my tweet yesterday. That's why. Yeah. I agree with him. Look, it's been rough, right? We have not looked like ourselves. There's no way around that. But at the same time, we're all these guys we're missing, and we're still just a couple games out. Like, we have managed to stay afloat. We have flirted with disaster a couple of times, but we have managed to stay afloat. You know, I know we're sick of saying it. But again, if we would have said we're going to be missing all those guys and be out only 4 points, we probably would have taken it. All time for new Cooking with Jaws episode? Jeez, I haven't done one of those since like the second year of the channel. David, oh yeah, the salt, yeah. Hey, scientists, you were stuck in the studio till 3 a.m. Sometimes that can be good, though. Sometimes those late night sessions are when the good stuff comes out. Weather Low says, at least Panthers won 2 cups in a row, being the finals 3 years in a row. We're lucky where they are. Absolutely agree. Yeah. I mean, what's the picture what's the thing? Yeah, somebody on Twitter yesterday. Let me see if I have this picture. Let me see something. Yeah. Somebody on Twitter asked yesterday, like, how worried were we? Right? They asked how worried are you with the way that the Panthers have been playing and they might not make the playoffs and all of that. Can I show this? Can I show this? Oh no, I can't share an image. I can't share an image with you from StreamYard. That sucks. Damn it. I wanted to show you guys this picture, but I can't show the image. Let me see if I can. Hold on a second. Bear with me here for a second. I want to try something here. Oh yeah, it's really small. Here we go. Can I see it? Can you guys? You can only see it just a little teeny tiny bit. Damn it. I'll have to mess around with that. I wanted to get that image in here for you guys to see. But if you can't, you probably can't see it very much there, but it's right there in the corner. It's basically Fluffy sitting on the couch with 2 cups. We'll leave that there for now. Hey, Cruz. So when am I coming to Florida? So there's good news and there's bad news on that. So the good news is that Kyle is going to be able to hang with you guys. He's going to come down in March. We're going to get him sent to a game and all of that. Come for his birthday and Brother Gene will bring him and everything like that. I've got to go for Valentine's Day to go see my parents because they're doing their 50th wedding renew vows. My dad requested that I come. My mom wants me to walk her down the aisle. So it's on Saturday. So we're getting in Friday. We're spending Friday, Saturday, Sunday night, and then we're flying out Monday morning. So I'm not really going to be able to have time. I'm going to have Matthias with us too. It's unfortunate. We might still at the last minute try to put together something for that Sunday, but there's no games. It's in the middle of the Olympics, so it really kind of would have made it tough. And I kind of need to spend the time with my parents and everything because my dad's not doing fantastic. You know what I mean? He's still here, but every day that he's still here, it's like, oh, look, there would be no surprise the day that I get the phone call. You know what I mean? So we're going to go down there, just Donna and I, for the 3 days. Kyle's going to stay here, watch the dog. He'll be streaming the few Olympic games, the preliminary rounds, while I'm gone. So I won't be coming down, but Kyle will. So you guys will at least be able to see Kyle again. Hungry says, I don't remember if it was the hockey guy or hockey psychology that said this Panthers team will make the playoffs and then make it everybody else's problem. Huh. Probably. Great White. No, that's Rosado. That's Rosado, Great White. That's his thing always. See, that's what he always says. Hey, Frank. Hey, great, we won. Nothing changed. Awesome. Everyone else keeps winning. On the bright side, Valinskas is now our Quinn Hughes. There you go. Very underpaid Quinn Hughes. Mike says they got to go 19, 12, and 4 for 95 points, which should be enough to make it. Yeah, that's doable. That's doable. No disagreement there. Yeah, Craig, with what they're missing, they're overachieving in some ways. Tell says, I'm surprised that Greer put up with a lot of hits and getting nailed by the puck a few times over the last few weeks and is still playing. Others like Kachuk and Marchand can't play. Well, Greer's a tough son of a bitch. There's no doubt there. Very, very reminiscent of Nick Cousins, just without so much of the edge, right? Remember when Cousins came into the top six when we needed him to play with Bennett and Kachuk. The Marchand thing, it kind of sounds like Maurice might have shut him down. I think that's a Maurice thing. And with Chucky, if he's not 100%, which is what Maurice said, like, I don't like it, but I don't want him going out there until he feels he's ready. Because that's the last thing you need, man. With that kind of a surgery, if you're not quite ready, all you got to do is tweak that one more time, and we could end up in this situation again where you don't want him to need another surgery. It starts to get dicey. Yeah, no, I would. Patel, when I share the screen through StreamYard. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Maybe it'll let me do this. It's got slides in PDF. Let me see if I know I have no slides. Let me see if this will allow me. We'll try it. Let's see. Fluffy. Let's see if this will let me do it. Invalid file type. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. It was going to let me updo it. It makes me go through Google Slides, so I'll have to figure that out. God, I'll have to figure that out. I don't want to figure it out right here live. Krabs says, I'm getting 23 vibes from the Panthers. Made the playoffs in the last week of the season. That could happen. Mike says, I'm proud of this team for what they're doing on the ice this year, considering the injuries. Honestly, it's remarkable. They won't die. That's for sure. They are not giving up. Ooh. Patel says, also, I bet Maurice not playing Jones, Marchand, and Kachuk so they can play in the Olympics. For most of the teams shouldn't play. How about this? I want to disagree with you, but I can't. I want to think, no, it doesn't have anything to do with that. But it probably sounds a little bit naive to think that you're not right in some way, shape, or form or another. Yeah. It could just be a situation where this team just has so much confidence in itself. It could just be a situation where they feel like that they can come back from the Olympic break and be healthy, except for Barkov and Nosek and Kulikov. But maybe they just are so confident in themselves that they feel like as long as they stay within a reasonable distance like they are now, that they can come back after the Olympic break and just get on a roll. Like maybe they just are so sure that they can get on a roll that they're not worried about it right now. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if that was their attitude. You know what I mean? Scientist says, yeah, the clients originally had booked from 4 to 7, but they got on a heater and ended up booking the whole night. Good stuff. You never know when you're gonna get in the zone, right, scientist? It just happens. Hey, Vincent. Do we know why they put Marchand on IR retroactively? No. And is that Kachuckin guy, is he there for the vibes or is he gonna play? Yeah, I don't know why they put him on IR retroactively. I don't think there's. Oh, I did think about it yesterday though, and I was wondering if it was roster size. Because we do have, like, we've got Bournefoot up, we've got like the extras up, so maybe it has something to do with roster size. That's the only thing I could think of. To make that move at all. I don't, because we don't get any kind of cap relief or anything like that. Hey, Patel. Yeah, he'll fly into Orlando because his grandparents live in Orlando. So it's good for him to go see my dad again, too. And then Brother Gino get him to a game. In fact, let me look at the schedule. Let me look at the schedule and see what game I think he'll get to. He had done it before one year. I think Brother Gene had gotten him there. So we are on the road for his birthday. Jeez. So he's going to have to go the week before his birthday or the week after his birthday. I'll have to ask him which one he wants to go to. Because we have home games on the 10th and 12th against the Wings and Jackets. And then we're on the road the whole time. Late games, too. Oh, that son of a bitch. No, he's going to be here to do the late games with me. No, he'll be going to Florida the week before his birthday. Nah, man. Starting on the 15th, it's 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Nah, Kyle, you're going to be either the week before or a week after his birthday, depending on which one he wants to do. And it'll probably be the week before. Hey, Goat Slayer. Detroit game is in March. Yeah, that might be. What's that? The Wings is on. What is it? Oh, why am I back to January? Yeah, March 10th. Yeah. Weatherlow says, I remember saying January 23. We'll fire Chuck back then. I thought he would be fired. And who? I talk to Ted Scotch a little bit there, Weatherlow. Mike says, no team has experienced as big a loss as Barkov, not even close. Biggest adversity in the league by a country mile. No talking head will give you that hot take. Barkov is that important. Yeah, he completely aligns this roster the way it needs to be. Gotcha, Cruz. I'm trying, Great White. I'm hoping. It's not gonna. I don't want to do it. I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's that I need to go see my parents for in that period of time, and then we'll see what happens after. Remember, Donna's coming with me. She has to work, so it had to be a short trip. I have a feeling you might see him. You might see him tomorrow, Cruz. I hope so. Real says Balinskis has a cup and Hughes doesn't. Hughes is an overpaid Balinskis. I think Balinskis was on both, right? I believe. Where the hell? He's been here for a couple of minutes, right? He should have his name on both. Yeah. The first year he only played 26 games with us. Did he play in the postseason at all? Last year, but not this year. So I don't know if his name got on the cup the first time. I know he was on the ice in the post-game celebration. That I know. Hungry says, hard to believe that the goal in Carolina was the first time two Latvians contributed to a goal in NHL history. No joke. Oh, that's wild. Lil J says, my question is, why do the players want to go to this year's Olympics? I heard the rink and conditions are terrible. I know, but they just don't view it the same way us fans do. You know what I mean? They love playing for their country, like Real is saying. It's I see it both ways. These guys, they're young. They're young guys. They get motivated. Oh yeah, Rosado. Yeah, time to watch Miracle. What we got again here? Holy crap! Thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Thank you. Jeez, man. Appreciate you. Holy crap. Thank you, man. Headache's going away now. Thank you. But yeah, this is Jaws territory. It's Sharks territory tomorrow. Thank you for reminding me to reach out to Nick. Maybe I'll get him to do some kind of intro to the pregame or something like that. Maybe I'll get him to do something. Maybe we'll do up a skit or something like that. Zara says, Jaws' mother says I'm a fake fan because I keep complaining about the team and always talk shit about the players. Apparently, they want me to say that everything is perfect. Well, see, now, you're not a fake fan. You're certainly not a fake fan. I think that's a bit extreme. It's weird right now because there's people that got kind of accustomed to winning, and I totally understand that, right? And then there's some of the old timers that are like, man, 1 cup, 2 cup, like we're drunk. It's just like whatever happens, you know what I mean? It's just like, yeah, from game to game, you want them to win and you want them to do well, but Jesus, we're not going to win the cup every year. I think the players though that had been playing, like overall, there's been some frustrating moments. Like I still don't understand why we're allowing guys to get behind the defense the way we are. That I don't understand why that's happening. But I think for the most part, the players deserve praise for what they've been pulling off. And I bitch about it every once in a while, you know what I mean? And they watch. The other night I bitched about Bennett. What did he do? Come out, he gets a goal and assist, almost 2 goals. It's very clear. Very clear. Nothing's clear. All right, Mr. Krabs, appreciate you, bud. Kyle is gonna be in down there to see everybody sometime in March. That's what it is, Rosado. Real says she heard Kachuk on that talk show with Four Nations. She said that was more important than the cup. That's correct. Yeah. Yeah, they just feel this. That's just how they feel, right? Yeah, Great White's paying for the ticket to Miami. Boy, let me tell you something. Holy moly. Because when I'm going to see my parents, Jesus, because it's Valentine's Day and then Monday is MLK Day. We had to fly Spirit. We had to fly Spirit because for 3 seats on Southwest, it was going to be $2,500. And that didn't even include the rental car for 3 seats. And so I wasn't sure what we were going to do. But so we went with Spirit. We paid for the extra money for the bags. So it wasn't that bad. With the rental car and the 3 seats, it was like $1,450 or something, that's kind of normal-ish. But some of the fares were crazy because it's basically 2 holidays on that weekend, and everybody wants to fly to Orlando. They don't want to fly to Florida for Valentine's Day. But what am I supposed to do? It's their anniversary on Valentine's Day. I can't tell them, hey, can you move it a week? You know what I mean? So my mom was happy. I'm walking her down the aisle. And that's if I can't do that once every 50 years, what the hell? You know what I mean? Gotcha, Rosado. Well, it's all right. David, Kyle is St. Patrick's Day, the 17th. He's St. Patrick's Day, yeah. Mike says, thoughts on Bob on the net and the net moving forward? Is it just a bad year from him or is he declining? I don't think we can get a really good gauge on that considering what we're putting on the ice in the front of him. Like games like the Carolina game, you just have to throw away, right? I mean, like every 30 seconds, there was a Carolina player in the net, in front of the net, alone against him. I haven't seen anything that makes me concerned about his side-to-side movement. Like when things get really hectic and he has to move, I feel like I see the same guy. I'm a little concerned about the glove. He's missed 4, 5, 6 shots that should have just been easy, just like this, and the puck is going under or over the glove with a clear view of the shooter and everything. That's the only thing that I can look at that I can't explain away by saying, well, the defense and players are in front of him. I do wonder if the way he's played is why we haven't seen an extension. I can't sit here and pretend that that's not a consideration. Like, there's no way he can come to the bargaining table right now and be like, so I still want my $10 million. Like, it might work out for us where if he hasn't declined yet, he might have to take a lower salary than maybe he would have wanted to, But it's hard to say, man, because there's just so many different things going on in front of him. Greg says the lapses are to let the league think they've got the Cats figured out. Yeah. I hear you, Rosado. I hear you, Rosado. Great White, you got your ticket to Miami? Yeah, Kyle, Kyle will have a good time. Burn Oil says there's a lot of teams that would have folded a while ago with the sort of injuries we've had. That's true. Dave says it's too bad to get sick on trains because the bright line from Orlando to Miami are a lot better than flying. Yeah. The plane, I can do the plane because you don't really feel the motion unless you get turbulence or whatever. But you never know. Rosado says, just me or has Tkachuk never been the same after the sternum injury? He changed his style a little bit. I think he realized he's just not big enough to just go around hitting everybody. You know what I mean? He's just not the same size as Brady, right? Craig says Bob's playing down for a 3x3. Something else, man. Rosado says, I wonder if Bob can take 5, but he plays less games to really help develop. You mean in Tarasov, not Stolars, right? Dave says the bright line is like $40 to $60 regular and less than 200 round trip. And it's a very nice train. I rode to West Palm Beach to see it, and it's plush. Like, I could probably do it from like Brevard to like Orlando. Like an hour and 90 minutes is when I start to get a little bit. That's when I start to get a little bit. All right, I need to get out of this vehicle. I need to walk around. I need to get some donuts or something. Get some junk food. That's but in terms of Kyle going down there, Brother Gene will have him. Would I bring back Stolars? I don't know, Great White. I don't know about his health. Right? Did I see he's close to a return? Let me see. Oh, okay. So I didn't even see this. This is 1 day ago. Maple Leafs goalie Anthony Stolars addresses the nerve issue that's kept him out of the lineup. So now we know. Am I going to be able to read this? It's The Athletic. Speaking after practice, Stolars revealed only that it was a nerve issue that knocked him out of a November 11 game against the Bruins and has kept him out for the last 30 games. He didn't elaborate on the precise nature of the injury, which the team has not disclosed. I kind of had to let it settle down a little bit. It's not like it's a bruise where it goes away. It's just something I kind of had to let heal on its own. And, it took a little while. He said he would need a few additional practices before he's ready to return to game action. Interesting. So it was a nerve issue. We don't know where. I I mean, well, we ain't getting them back. Let's put it that way. But yeah, no, I don't know if I would bring him. I don't know. He's had his injury issues. Drieger just completely fell off the planet, injury wise. Lil J says, yeah, maybe Chucky's peak was the Game 4 Carolina goal. He's played well last year, though, too. He changed his game a little bit, for sure. For sure. But we still won 2 cups, right? It's like 3.5 hours Atlanta to Fort Lauderdale. Ooh. Oh. Do I get a half-hour break every hour and a half? Rosario won a 16-hour flight from Doha to Miami. Geez, 16 hours, man. How Alex Lyon is doing good. He let's see. Lyon right now for the Sabres has got a 2.82 and a 9.06. He has started 19 games. He's 10-6. So good enough. Good enough. That's basically Stolar's numbers. Oh, I don't know if that was it, Craig. I don't know if it was a nerve issue from the Bennett hit. All right, David. Yeah, we all thought Drigo was going to be the future. Oh, wow. All right, everybody. I got to roll. I got to get Kyle up. I got to get a couple things done. We will be live tonight. What is that, 6:30? I believe it's 6:30 for Rams and the Bears. The Bears. Let's see. Yeah, 6:30. So like 6:20, we'll be live over there. Great White says, I'm 105 miles to Sunrise. Nice. That's not so bad. That's not so bad as long as the traffic's not too bad. So Kyle and I will be live about 6:20-ish on the football channel for Rams and Bears. Going to be a good time. Should be a good game. It's gonna be a good time. Nice and relaxing. We don't have to worry about it. And then tomorrow, of course, I'll be live at noon, and then the pregame show for the Panthers, and then the Panther game, and then the University of Miami Hurricanes national championship game. So that's gonna be a doozy. That's gonna be a good night though. Chucky comes back, and the Hurricanes win the national championship on the same night. That's what we got tomorrow night. So, all right, everybody. Thank you all. Much appreciated. Thank you, Great White. Love you, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate all the super chats from everybody every day. We'll see you in 5 hours again on the other channel, the channel we're allowed to talk football on. We'll see you.